homeschool wrap up. So we have been homeschooling for a total of, right now we're in week 5, but I'm doing our week 4 wrap up, and then I'll do our week 5 wrap up next week. We have been homeschooling this school year. We're homeschooling 2 middle school age boys. Lots of fun, lots of excitement, I'm sure you can imagine. So I wanted to kind of talk about what I've learned. Like, you know, I'm kind of just chronicling this process, just kind of running through and just kind of thinking through all that we've done and all we're doing, and just kind of trying to keep tabs on all of it, because, you know, it can be a moving target sometimes. And you want to know that you're doing your best, you know, when you're homeschooling your babies. And I do believe that this is the best process for us as a family. But I'm also a person like about checks and balances and kind of, you know, just thinking through what I'm doing. So week 3, we went out on Tuesday. My husband's off on Tuesday, so we went out to a coffee shop. We homeschooled out and about for the first time. It was very interesting. Kind of did a little mini vlog about that. And it was very interesting. And one of the things that the kids said is that they had a hard time focusing, which I get, like that makes sense to me. But I also feel like it's a skill that we're able to work on because we are homeschooling. So we went out again this Tuesday, last Tuesday also. So it just so happened that Monday of last week, week 4, for some reason that I'm not recollecting right now, the boys stayed up with my husband really, really late. And so Tuesday, they didn't get out of the bed until like 1 p.m. I don't know what Monday was. Like, I have a calendar here. I don't know, week 4 Monday. I still don't know why they were up so late. Anyway, they didn't get out of the bed until like 1 o'clock. So we ended up just kind of going to Barnes & Noble. We homeschooled at Barnes & Noble. We went to lunch at Chick-fil-A. It was a really lovely day. But I am finding that Tuesdays, which is the day my husband is off, we can all kind of be together because he works long hours. We're not getting as much homeschooling done. So I'm kind of having to try to squeeze it in other places. So I'm still compensating for that. I would love to hear your suggestions in the comments about that, because I'm still compensating for that. And I don't want to do it like late. You know, hey, it's 9 o'clock, guys. 9 p.m. Grab your books. Let's get downstairs and get some work done. I really don't want to do that. So, love to hear your suggestions about that, sincerely. So that was Tuesday, and we hung out. My mother picked the kids up a little bit, and she hung out with them. So Wednesday, I did another vlog about this, my late night chit chat, little post, because I was hot Wednesday. I was very upset Wednesday. And it's probably to be expected, and it's probably because I had very high expectations. You'll have to go watch that little post about that. So yes, I was upset on Wednesday because the kids they just were not taking things seriously. So I follow some groups on Facebook, and I hear that from parents, so I didn't feel like I was the only person. But I have high expectations of myself and high expectations of my kids, and they're able to meet them. So that's not going to change. You know, they're awesome kids, and they did their best. They really did. You'll have to go look at that video to see what they did. You know, our motto around here is that accidents happen. Accidents happen. Mistakes happen. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to clean it up? Are you going to make it right? Are you going to fix it? Right? So they did. So that was awesome. Thursday and Friday kind of started to unravel. Now, in hindsight, on Saturday, I had an asthma attack, which I have not had an asthma attack in years. So it could have been that my body was headed into that. And so that's why Thursday and Friday was such a struggle for me. I'm not sure. We're going to have to just, you know, keep going and see. But it was a struggle. So things kind of fell apart Thursday and Friday. We got some work done, but it wasn't a whole lot of anything. We did math, independent reading. We did some spelling, Adam and his Kim. That's our history and Bible kind of stuff. So we got to that. So let me tell you what I learned. This is what I learned. Just a second. So I've shown this to you guys before. This is our schedule that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I'm gonna show you guys this spreadsheet, which is that schedule just laid out so that I can fill in what we've done. I'll show it to you. Let's cut to that now. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys the Excel spreadsheet that I ended up making actually in Gmail, in Sheets, so Google's version of Excel. So this is it. I am a color coder. So what I ended up doing was I blocked off, so this chunk right here at the top, that's color coded, scripture memory, picture study, poetry, composer. These we do at the kitchen table during breakfast. So these happen every day, but they happen at breakfast. We're not at our homeschool table doing those. And I have everything blocked off that we do every day. So everything that's color coded here is what we do every single day, no matter what. And then obviously the days of the week. And then this space over here kind of for like assessments and who did the assessment and what happened. Excuse me. I put an X in the box of the things that we need to take care of on Monday. This is everything we do on Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. And then I just put in a C for complete, or a W for worked on, a C plus N for narration. We did lab 1. We did not get to this. We worked on that. We completed that. Blah, blah, blah. When we get to an assessment, if they have an assessment, so this was a math assessment, and they determine when they do assessments. Obviously, though, I have a window. They can't just push an assessment out for, 2 months. But they determine when they're ready for it. When it starts to get critical, then I color code that box red to remind myself, to remind them that they need to go ahead and get ready for that assessment. Here was an assessment that, let's see, Michael did a spelling assessment. It was a great attempt, but he did not complete the spelling assessment with 100%, so he needs to go back and redo it. He did that already because this was earlier last month. So I just want to give you guys just a picture of kind of how I'm charting everything. I'm still using the CM organizer on Simply Charlotte Mason because it produces a much nicer report. So that's really why I'm using that. I'm back. That's my first time ever doing that. I hope you enjoyed it. The schedule that I hold near and dear. What I learned last week is that your homeschool schedule, your homeschool life in general, has to be a set schedule and you have to stick to it. You got to stick to that schedule, no matter what. But I also learned equally as much, you got to be willing to let it go, to walk away, to let life happen. It's a very interesting balance, and it's something that honestly I would not have learned if I weren't homeschooling. Because learning did happen on Thursday and Friday. And the kids are making connections and making associations, and that's what you want to see, right? So it's very interesting. This schedule it, set it, fight for it, and let it go when you need to let it go. And that's why I really feel like you really, I'm a believer, our family's a believer. I just feel like you really, God has to be in it. God has to be in it, you know what I mean, as you look for the lesson. So that's that. How do I feel about our current schedule? I am excited about our current schedule. The kids do not have to ask me 275 questions about what we're doing today because it's laid out. The other thing that I'm doing is this weekly to-do. So I used to be a high school teacher, a middle school teacher. My husband used to teach middle school. And something, I was laying in bed and I was like, I was feeling anxiety to some degree about moving forward because I have our daily plan, right? And then something was like, every day when you were teaching, you had a planning hour, Danita. Why aren't you doing a planning hour? Duh. So I'm doing a planning hour, but I'm only going to do it twice a week because I don't think I need that much of a planning hour. I'm going to start off with twice a week and see what that looks like. But part of that is at the end of the week creating this so that we know what's happening that's kind of special, right? So I follow like a little calendar that tells us it was National Walk to School Day on the 4th of October. We had doctors and dentist appointments all day on the 2nd. We went to Sandy Point, had lunch in Annapolis and homeschooled there. Wednesday started the Feast of Tabernacles, which is a Jewish feast. Friday is DJ Day, so the kids will be driving me a little crazy, DJing the music. God bless them. And we're also going to be working on our midterm projects. I'm going to do a video about our midterm projects. I'm excited about them. Coming up on week 6, and we have 3 terms, which is 12 weeks long. So I'm going to leave you with a lesson that I learned this week that I was talking to my youngest child about. So we use this book, Spelling Wisdom. And in this book, there are quotes and statements from people. So the very first exercise is this exercise. It's a quote by Charlotte Mason. And the quote says, "The habits of the child are, as it were, so many little hammers beating out by slow degrees the character of the man." So Michael, our youngest, has had to the kids write this down. They underline the words they don't know how to spell. They practice those words by writing out the quote. And then when they're ready, I dictate the quote to them. I read it to them slowly, and then they write it down. If they get everything spelled right, they can go on to the next exercise. Michael had to do this exercise probably 5 or 6 times before he was able to get it right. And he was really discouraged by that. And I understand it. I understand that discouragement, especially because his brother was on like exercise 5 or 6. But this is what we talked about. I've read this book, as you can see, several times. It's beat up. Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, Dr. Carol Dweck. And she has a statement in here. If you get a moment this week, I'm telling you, it's worth the read. This growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through effort. Things you can cultivate through effort. The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it's not going well, is the hallmark of the growth mindset. Like if I could just put this book, I do sometimes with books, I don't know why, I put it on my head, I'm like, oh, I just need to get it in my brain. If I could just get this like cinched, because I am there, you know, I find myself there as a homeschooling parent. The same struggle that Michael's had, and the struggle that I have to remind myself and remind him about. That it is about the struggle, but it's not about it. That the passion and the effort to stick to something, even when it's difficult, is the hallmark of someone who's willing to grow. And that's awesome. You know, Michael had to do this thing a couple times, but he has memorized this quote. Gabriel didn't have to do it a couple times. Gabriel has to works on narration. It's something that he has to really work on. And so when he has to narrate over and over again to get a good quality, rich narration, that's where he is building his growth mindset, because he's sticking to it even though it's hard. So that's where we are. I will talk to you guys real soon. And please, in the comment box below, tell me how you were handling your off when your schedule slips and slides like it does. I'd love to hear that. Thank you. Bye.